Like I said, today is 2nd of October 2024, and we are having our analysis, morning analysis. We look at the fundamentals, then we'll go to the technicals. Now, in terms of fundamentals, we really don't have much events for this morning. This morning, what we have the OPEC JMMC meeting, and it's an all-day event, so no specific time is allotted to it. By the afternoon session, we'll have the ADP non-farm employment change, and by 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m. rather, we have the crude oil inventories. So those are the two tradable events we have today, and it's going to happen in the afternoon session. So I'll leave that to the pre-New York session analysis. So let's look at what the market is saying technically, uh, for this morning, and even other sector that may happen in the course of the day or later on in the week. Now, before I go into what I want to show us for this morning, I want to just do a little recap of some of the analysis we had at the beginning of the week, which worked exactly as analyzed. And the first one I'll show us is the BTC USD. I remember telling us on Monday that I was bearish on the BTC, for this week. I gave us my reasons. There is this, descending like channel on the daily time frame, and a rising wedge within it, which I said was pointing downwards. And BTC later crashed. You can see it right on the screen. It really crashed heavily in line with that analysis. About 400 pips, 430 something pips, was generated between Monday and this morning on this instrument in line with the analysis. Also, I gave analysis on New Zealand card. I said I was bearish on it. Yeah, this one, okay, there has been a crash in the real sense, but I think it's still within the range of the entry, though I would say we should be cautious. But so far, there's been a kind of a crash of close to like 100 pips. And GBP USD is another one. GBP USD, GBP card, those ones too, they've gone in line with the analysis. Yes, I had a bearish outlook on the GBP USD. Price crashed in line with that analysis. You can check the Monday video, the morning analysis video, which was actually the weekly analysis. I said most of them were getting ready for a weekly the swing setup. This one dropped to the tune of about 133 pips, and so far has hit Fibonacci 38.2. That's the GBP USD. So it came out exactly in line with the analysis we had. And also GBP card is another one. GBP card also went in line with the analysis. I was bearish on it, and price has broken out, just exactly in line with the analysis. Price went ahead to hit Fibonacci 50, generating on the average about 121 pips. If I remember telling you this one yesterday, that once it's past two, when all the news, most of the news will have been released, you can trigger a sell. And from around 2 p.m., it was able to sell about 120 pips, just in line with the analysis that we gave earlier. Now, this other one it's not one of the analysis I mentioned directly. That's Eurocard. Somebody asked, and I analyzed it, and I said I was bearish. I said I saw a head and shoulder on the daily time frame, and which is also on the 4-hour. This is the Euro card, and you can clearly see that price broke out in line of the analysis, and so far has generated again. If we look at this as an entry, at least from the entry has made over 63 pips thereabouts, and which other one? NAS 100, yes. NAS 100. I looked at both DJ30 and NAS 100, but NAS 100 is the one that has moved so far. I said it was a swing setup also, and price has also moved in the line of the bearish breakout that I gave on this, particular instrument, generating over 300 pips likewise. So almost all the instruments that we've analyzed so far this week has been good, except the ones that are yet to really trigger. So if you follow this analysis and you've taken advantage of this setup, you should have made quite some profit, in the market by now. All right, so that being said, let's look at what we have for today. So today I'll be looking at gold. I'll be looking at gold, and I'm having a bearish outlook, on gold. I'm having a bearish outlook on gold. Now, earlier on, I remember telling us that, I have this rising wedge pattern on gold on the daily time frame. All right, and price, has made a series of higher highs, and price got here, giving us a rejection candle. And I said price has done, higher high, higher low, higher high. The next wave should be a higher low. All right. So we're looking for a downward wave on gold. Now, coming down to the 4 hour, this is what I have. I have a channel pattern here, which is also indicative of a breakout downwards. And finally, at the upper part of that, we have a resistance, which is giving us a confluence at this point. And this is still part of it because it's now looking like it's trying to form something that looks a lot like a double top. So we're going to be looking at price breaking out below this trend line to trigger, a sell on gold. Now, this is a swing setup, so it should be traded as swing. Oh, can I catch on 10 pips? Well, that's at your personal discretion. From what I'm seeing on the chart, this is a swing. RSI is currently below 50, but the best entry will actually be when price breaks out below this, this low, which is acting like a kind of a neckline for what we have, which is looking a lot like it's not looking perfect like a double top. A normal double top would be like a letter M to be equal distance, kind of. So let's just watch it closely. It's possible also for price to bounce up a little to hit the resistance before making a final fall. Anything is possible, or we will have an outright breakout. But then my entry point will be whenever price breaks out below this support level. This is a recent support level at 2634.20. So whenever a new candle breaks out below this level, you can clearly trigger a sell on gold. We've been very careful we go for a long while because it wasn't giving us the right setup for us to enter a sell. We want to take a sell to go back buying. But from what I'm seeing so far, I have multiple reasons, to believe it's time for a crash. All things being equal, at least with a rising wedge on the daily time frame, a rising wedge on 4 hour with a confluence point around this region. Well, hopefully we should be able to see a breakout on gold. But that also will be dependent on the movement of the dollar. The dollar will still play a primary role in ensuring the crash in gold. But generally, I hold a bearish outlook on gold. And on USD CAD, I hold a bullish outlook on USD CAD. Now, for USD CAD, you can see on the weekly time frame, we have this uptrend line. And still on weekly, last week closed as a rejection candle, and also we have a valid support level. So technically, everything is pointing towards a bullish direction on USD CAD because this eventually can evolve into a double top pattern, sorry, double bottom pattern, which is equally a bullish pattern. So on the weekly, we're seeing a bullish setup on USD CAD. Now on the daily time frame, there was a movement up, a retracement. Then we're expecting a continuation because so this candle is this small candle, which is testing the confluence of the trend line and the support. So technically, we're going to be looking for a bullish movement, a continuation on on the USD CAD. And you can see it is still forming a rejection candle on 4 hour, and this is 1 hour. So on 1 hour time frame, we're going to be looking out for a breakout to trigger possibly a buy on USD CAD. Trying to look at, okay, it may evolve into something close to an inverse head and shoulder, then a breakout. That's even looking more like it on the 4 hour likewise. So we have a bullish outlook on USD CAD. Then we look at the AUD USD. AUD USD is one of the instruments I'm looking at for the week, and price is getting close to where we were expecting a breakout. All right, so for the AUD USD from the weekly time frame, you can see we have the descending trend line on the weekly, and also we have price hitting the resistance. So those are the two reasons why we're looking at a decline. And also we have a rising wedge right there on the 4 hour. So a trend line, a resistance on weekly, a rising wedge on 4 hour. And the last 4 hour candle, you can see that yesterday price clearly broke out, below the lower trend line, but then it's also, experienced a retracement. For the last 4 hour candle, that's a candle between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. this morning, ended up as a rejection candle testing that trend line. So technically, we should expect a continuation. Mr. Bright, please be careful with your annotation too. It's causing distraction on my screen. So the last 4 hour candle, like I said, is a rejection candle, which is indicative of a downward movement because the rejection candle is, resisting the, it's acting as, it's rather hit a resistance. It hit a resistance up here and even hits the trend line. So we're expecting a decline in price. And if we have a bullish outlook on a pair like USD CAD, then a pair like AUD USD, it's all right, Mr. Right. A pair like AUD USD should be getting ready for a decline. So I hold my bearish outlook on the AUD USD. And the same thing is also applicable to the New Zealand USD. For New Zealand USD also, I remember this instrument, I think I analyzed it back on Monday. On the monthly time frame, let's start from the monthly. We have a descending trend line, which is clearer on the weekly. All right, you can see there's a descending trend line and a resistance. So we'll switch to the 4 hour. So a descending trend line and a resistance means that we're expecting a downward movement, a downward trend in price. And with a rising wedge again on 4 hour, everything is pointing to a downward movement in price. So price has clearly now broken out, below the rising wedge. And the last 4 hour candle, hits the trend line, the lower trend line as a rejection candle. Now price is getting ready for a downward decline. So we hold the bearish outlook on the New Zealand USD. And AUD CHF and New Zealand CHF will be the two last ones I'll check. For the AUD CHF, yes, I mentioned this on Monday. Now, in this one, we have a scenario of a support turned resistance, which is expected to lead to a further decline. Support turned resistance. And the candle for yesterday closed as a rejection candle. But that's not just another rejection candle, that's a very valid doji. This one of yesterday, this is a valid doji. And I always say that doji is an indecision candle. When it happens at the top of an uptrend, it indicates the possibility of a decline to the downtrend. So with this, we're having a bearish outlook on AUD CHF. The last 4 hour candle also is a rejection candle hitting the resistance and the lower trend line. So we're expecting a bearish breakout on the AUD CHF. Now, all the setup I'm giving today, all of them are all swing. They are all 4 hour. That's what the market is giving. So you don't take what the market is not willing to give. All I'm saying, they are all swing setup, and we have to look at trading them just as a swing. Now, if you have an entry on the lower time frame that you can enter, that will be a personal decision. But what I'm seeing on the chart is all swing setup. Now, for New Zealand CHF, on the weekly time frame, you can see we have a descending trend line and price either trend line. Then we have a support turn resistance also, which is giving us, a bearish continuation. And we also have a rising wedge pattern likewise. Price has broken out below the lower trend line. We already have a breakout candle here, very valid for a sell. but in the last few hours, price has been experiencing a retracement. So we're looking to trigger a sell once price breaks out below this new support level. Once the new candle breaks out below this level, then we can look at taking a sell on the New Zealand CHF. RSI is clearly below 50. MACD is clearly below 0. So this is ready for a sell. And the only thing we need to wait for is a breakout, below this support level. Once we can achieve that, we can trigger a sell on New Zealand CHF. All right, so that will be all from my end this morning. So this morning I've analyzed quite a number of instruments. Like I said, all of them, what we're seeing. I think I should have one or two that could be intraday. Yeah, sorry, I just remembered that now. And that should be the Euro AUD. Yeah, the Euro AUD we can look at that, even though there's a swing side of it, but then we can also have an intraday side of it. Now for the Euro New Zealand, you can see there's an uptrend on the weekly and a support level also on the weekly time frame. So if you flip down to the 1 hour time frame, this is what we have on the 1 hour. Like I said, it can go for swing, but it can also pass for a 1 hour setup. So I'll show us the 1 hour setup because I know some of us are intraday traders, we are day traders. So let's look at what is going to be favorable to us also. So for the Euro AUD, you can see here we have a falling wedge. Now, all the New Zealand pairs I mentioned are bearish. For the Euro New Zealand, the New Zealand is the quote, it's not the base. It's not the base currency, it's the quote currency. So for this, you can see that price is currently about to break out. And now I will advise you wait for price to break out above this current minor resistance that I've drawn. If a new candle opens above this, you can trigger a buy on Euro New Zealand. And that should give on the average, that should be Fibonacci 50, that should be about 50 pips of Fibonacci 50 and about 80 pips of Fibonacci 61.8, So let's look at that for an intraday setup. And it's so good that this morning we don't have any fundamental, at least tradable fundamental event till afternoon. So please, if you're a day trader, put your attention on the Euro AUD for this morning. Once there's a breakout from what I show you now, you can trigger a buy on the Euro AUD. And the same thing is also applicable for the Euro New Zealand. Though I will advise you take just one. Don't trade both. Take one out of the two. For the Euro New Zealand, you can also see that we have an uptrend line on the weekly time frame. We don't really have a support for this one, but it doesn't really matter. The uptrend line is good enough. So for this one also, we need price to break out above this minor resistance here. Once price breaks out above this minor resistance, we can trigger a buy on the Euro New Zealand. And just like the Euro AUD, we'll be looking at profit in the range of about 82 pips to about 140 pips, intraday. Well, if it's intraday, it could last till later in the afternoon, but at least on the average, if you on the conservative, you can pick like 30 pips to Fibonacci 38.2, then to Fibonacci 50.85 p. I think that should just be enough. 30, 85, that should just be okay for you on Euro New Zealand. So we're bullish on both Euro New Zealand and Euro AUD on the 1 hour time frame. All right, so let me do a little recap on all the instruments I've analyzed this morning. I said we're bearish on gold on 4 hour. We're bullish on USD CAD on 4 hour. We're bearish on the AUD USD on 4 hour. We're bearish on the New Zealand USD on 4 hour. We're bearish on the AUD CHF on 4 hour. We're bearish on the New Zealand CHF on 4 hour. And we are bullish on Euro AUD on 1 hour. And we're bullish on Euro New Zealand on 1 hour. All right, so that will be all from my end this morning. I can see there are a lot of requests in the comment section. I will attend to all of them, then we'll end the class. Amaka is asking about GU, that's the GBP USD. Okay, so GBP USD. Now, GBP USD had its breakout yesterday. The question is, will it continue further? If the dollar gets bullish, there will be a continuation. However, you can see that's what's on the screen now. Now, price has already hit Fibonacci 38.2. There's still room, at least on the Fibonacci, there's room for further decline, at least possibly to Fibonacci 50. Now, what I would advise is this: if you want to take a sell on this instrument, wait for price to break below the support. Once you have a new candle breaking, opening below this current support at 1.32506, then you can trigger a sell on GBP USD. Yeah, that's possible once price breaks below that support level. Aldi is saying, good morning, sir. God bless PU Prime. Yes, God bless you too. Good time, Etty Evans. PU, I already analyzed PU. EU, that's Euro USD. So let's look at the Euro USD. For Euro USD, I will not advise a further sell. You know, okay, yes, I remember analyzing this on Monday. How come I forgot to as in share it as one of the outcome of the analysis? I said it that it was going to be bearish this week, that we were seeing the formation of a double top on the daily and weekly time frame, and the 4 hour will lead to a bearish breakout. So this instrument has done its course for the week. It has already hit Fibonacci 78.6. uh, I will not be looking for an opportunity to sell, even if it wants to present itself. It has done most of what is you do this week. So let EU rest, let it breathe, like we say it in Nigeria. Let the guy be. Look for other instruments. USD card. I already analyzed USD card. I said we are bullish on the 4 hour for USD card. We have a bullish outlook. We're expecting price to break out, and continue the long-term direction, because right from the weekly time frame, what we're seeing on the weekly is an uptrend line and a support, a double bottom, which will lead to a bullish continuation. So, and we looked at it critically on the 1 hour. Okay, let's try to check the 1 hour. I'm not seeing any validity for an entry on the 1 hour. That's why I'm trying to be cautious. Let's say 15 minutes. If if 15 minutes is your thing, well, maybe you can look at entry. But for me, uh, I'll be very careful. What I'm saying is a better entry if price breaks above the 4 hour, and that's more like a swing setup. But either way, I hold a bullish outlook on. If you can handle on 15 minutes based on personal strategy, you're free to do that. But I'm personally not always so comfortable with lower time frames like that. But this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing next. The next move of a USD card. It's an inverse head and shoulder pattern that is forming on 4 hour, which will lead us to a massive bullish breakout. So I'm bullish on the USD card. BTC. Now it's possible BTC might decline further, but like I always say, please tread with caution. This instrument can be very, very volatile. It's possible. You can see that RSI also, broke out below 30, meaning it's completely oversold. It may move up before dropping down. That's what may likely happen. If you miss the earlier move, for me, I would rather just wait for another perfect, entry. So the first wave down was it hit Fibonacci 38.2. Like I said, it may retrace and still, go down further. And at that time, it might have formed, a head and shoulder, then decline. That's the possible wave I'm seeing currently. You may be trying to form a head and shoulder, so that it's getting ready for a correction phase before the next impulse. So we might just need to wait patiently for the correction to take place. But then if you want to take a sell, I will advise you can wait for price to break below this low, at least retrace up, then break out. When it breaks out below this low, which is acting as a support, then you can look at taking a sell on a BTC. But don't forget, this is a swing setup, so it's a 4-hour setup. It may require that you have sufficient equity to hold it, including in case there's a swing, because it's a swing setup. So that's for all the Bright. Can we get a recording this morning after? Sure, definitely. You get a recording after the analysis. Just watch out in your WhatsApp group. Albasid, doing well. Proud of you, sir. Thank you, Albasid. Madam Onaji, DJ30. All right, so I'll check on DJ30. Okay, so let's check DJ30. Now, DJ30, I told us I had a bearish outlook 2 days ago, and I think yesterday. Um, can see there's a rising wedge on the daily time frame. We had a rejection candle here, and in the last 2 days, at least we can see some selling, even though there was a retracement afterwards. But what I see happening, or that might likely happen to this instrument, is that it might try to form either a double top or a head and shoulder. Those are the two possibilities I'm seeing at the moment. Now, if that is what may likely happen, maybe looking at price, hitting this support level first at 41947.49. So that's on the daily. Let's flip down to the 4-hour, to the 1 hour. Now, to the 1 hour, if you are going to trade these instruments, I will advise you allow price to hit the support first, then go up. Look at taking the bullish side of the trade. And with that, it might actually be forming a head and shoulder, for an eventual drop. So what I would suggest you do is this. Like I said, wait for price to drop, then trade the breakout upwards. So you can go down now to 15 minutes after the drop. You can go down to 15 minutes. So this is what we're expecting, a drop, then a breakout. So on the 15-minute time frame, you can now draw your trend line to capture the breakout. So I hold the bullish outlook, but I expect price to drop to the support level first before climbing up. That's for Madam Monaji for DJ30. USDCHF, Tony. Okay. No, USDCHF is expected to be bullish, but you can see that there's been a range around this instrument, even on the daily time frame. It's been ranging on the daily time frame since August, and this is October. So if there's a bullish movement, maybe from the news in the afternoon, price may hit this resistance and it may drop afterwards if the volatility is not strong. So we may just experience an uptrend, then maybe a decline. But if there's a lot of volatility, then price may break this support zone. So that volatility, today is Wednesday, Friday is NFP. If NFP really comes out good for the dollar, that may break USDCHF out of this range. It's been doing for going to 2 months now. So we're expecting a very strong data from the United States come Friday, to break that level. You can see there's been a massive downtrend for months, only to end up into a range around a support level, both on the daily and the weekly time frame. But if price is able to break out, then we'll have a massive bullish movement afterwards. So what is possible today? Let's go down to the lower time frame, 4 hour, 1 hour. Now it's possible to still, from a technical angle, it's possible to still have a decline before the breakout because you can see the descending trend line I drew now on the 4 hour. It shows that price is on a downtrend, but I'm not giving a valid entry on this one. I have a better setup on USD CAD, which is going bullish compared to USD CHF. So this one is just what I'm seeing at the moment. So if you're on a trade, this one is for those who are on a trade. I'm not giving a signal. If you're on a sell trade on USD CHF, you may just hold it. There may be some slight decline, before, and price may hit here. I'm not saying it will. It's a possibility before taking a bullish breakout. But this guy is just in the range for now. So we're not looking for entry. If you have not entered a trade already, please just stay out of USD CHF. There's no clarity around it. But for those who are on the trade, if you're on the sell trade, you may just hold on. But for new trades, please just ignore USD CHF for now. Okay, Madam Monaji, you asked about DJ30 on the sell with 50-cent loss currently. Do I close and re-enter afterwards? And if you're on the sell, like I said, my own views, I believe price should drop low. So if you're already on the sell, that should still support whatever trend you are on. Now, except you feel that you don't have sufficient, capital or equity to hold the trade. If you don't have sufficient capital to hold the trade, if you want to exit, you're free to. But then, if okay, 50 cents is small now. If you want to quit it, if you want to close, you can, and rather wait for when it drops and the breakout happens. So if you want to, yes, you can do that. Okay, RM Spectra is asking a question. Just a second, I'll attend to you. All right, saying that, please, I want to understand something. To know a valid breakout, is it when the new candle breaks above or below the wick of the previous candle, or when it breaks above or below the closure of the previous candle? No, it's not really about that. A breakout, you're welcome, Madam Monaji. Now, a breakout can happen in many ways. One of it could be when price breaks out above, a trend line, above or below a trend line, above or below a resistance level, not necessarily the wick. Yes, you can use the wick. That's a shadow. You can use that also. But for me, I use the shadow of the wick when there's already an existing trade. Let me put it that way. For example, let me use BTC as an example. I said for BTC, the breakout for me for BTC, on the BTC analysis, I said it on Monday that what I'm saying is a decline. Everything, we have a downtrend on the daily time frame with a rising wedge pattern. So I was ready for a breakout. As on Monday, I think Monday morning or so, I think maybe the candle, let's confirm again. Let me check the time on this candle. The breakout candle, Monday. Monday was 30th. Okay, 4 a.m. All right. So as a Monday morning, price already broke out. So I said I was looking for an opportunity, to sell. So for me, that's the breakout because at that point, we had a confluence. A confluence means when we have many reasons to buy or sell. We have a trend line on the daily, we have a rising wedge on 4 hour, and price broke out below. This is a breakout. Price broke out from the rising wedge outwards. So this is a valid breakout and a valid entry. Now, there's been a wave. There's been and impulse. Currently, impulse means when price goes in the direction of the proposed trend. So there's been an impulse here. So currently what we're experiencing is a correction, which is a retracement. So I now said that for this retracement, now don't forget that this is the entry. That's the primary entry. But if you miss that entry and you still want to trigger a sell, because I believe with time, this instrument might still go down, further, because on the Fibonacci tool, we only have price hitting a lower Fibonacci level, which is 38.2. Price can still proceed to Fibonacci 50 and 61.8. Very, very possible. At least 50 and 61.8 are the reversal points. So if price has not gotten yet there, there's a possibility it may get there. So I now say that if you now want to still look for an opportunity to sell in this kind of example, wait for price to break below, yeah, this low now is the body of the candle. And if you want to use the tip of the shadow, the tip of the wick, it's still possible. It's possible. You can do either of them. Any of them is at your, some of these things is at your personal discretion. You can wait for price to break through below that level, break out below that level before you trigger a sell. But the primary breakout in this case is actually here. For this region, we are only looking for a continuation. So it's not our primary entry point at all. It's not our primary entry point. It's just because we're looking for a continuation. So I hope that answered that person. All right, I've attended to all the questions. We're ending the analysis here. Make sure you join us this afternoon by 1:30 p.m. Sorry, 12:30 p.m. where we'll have the afternoon session. You're welcome. You're welcome, RM Spectre. All right, take care and have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too, ma. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.